Yeah, good afternoon, every one of you. Uh, Today we are going to see about the corrosion and its prevention. So far we have covered food industry and to some extent we have covered this corrosion industry also. Maybe we have seen type of corrosion, I guess. Okay, introduction, we have covered what is the definition of a corrosion, what is rusting, etc. Then mechanism of corrosion, you all know the metal usually it will go into the more stable state. Because of that only the corrosion will takes place that we have introduced already. So today we are going to see these types of corrosion. So there are two types of corrosion. So how the material will deteriorate will be of two types. One is a dry corrosion. For example, silver metal getting corrosion without the presence of any wet content or the water content, which is called as a dry corrosion. This dry corrosion is also called as a chemical corrosion. Then the next type of corrosion is a wet corrosion. Okay, in the presence of some moisture content, okay, some presence of some water, some electrolyte medium. Okay, like this, that type of corrosion is called as a wet corrosion. This wet corrosion is also called as a electrochemical corrosion. So now the first one is a dry corrosion, which is also called as a chemical corrosion, and second one is a wet corrosion, which is also called as a this electrochemical corrosion. So dry corrosion, we have seen what is this dry corrosion. It is also known as a chemical corrosion. It can take place due to direct action of the oxygen or due to other gases like CO2, H2S, SO2 or other halogens or inorganic acid vapors. All this will be attacking on the metal surface and they will be responsible for this corrosion of that metal. So this, since they are directly acting on that one, okay, without any presence of moisture content or a water content. So this type of corrosion is called as a chemical corrosion or a dry corrosion. Example is a tarnishing of silverware, okay, in H2S laden air. So this type of tarnishing activity is called as a dry corrosion. Then dry corrosion or oxidation corrosion occurs when oxygen in the air reacts with metal without the presence of a liquid. So this is the basic nomenclature. Without the presence of water or moisture is called as a dry corrosion or a chemical corrosion. Within the presence of any electrolytic medium or a water or some moisture content, which is called as a wet corrosion. Then typically dry corrosion is not as detrimental as wet corrosion. So wet corrosion will be very fast deteriorating mechanism compared to the dry corrosion, but it will also somewhat affects it is also somewhat detrimental but not that much detrimental compared to the wet corrosion. Then most of the engineering metals have a slow oxidation rate in the atmosphere at ambient temperature. So oxidation rate, so oxidation is nothing but one form of corrosion, one type of corrosion in terms the dry corrosion. Okay, dry corrosions can be divided into three types. One is a direct oxygen attack, which is called as oxidation. Next one is due to other gases like CO2, H2S, SO2. All these gases are combined as separate category, which is another type of dry corrosion. And another type is a liquid metal corrosion. So three types of corrosion. Out of this oxidation corrosion is very much powerful. Okay, it will oxidize. It will just lower the content of metal inside that one. So this is about the dry corrosion. Then how many types of dry corrosions are there? Okay, there are three types of corrosion as I just said you. So dry corrosion or a chemical corrosion can be classified into three types. One is oxidation corrosion. Okay, takes place due to the direct attack of O2 or oxygen. So in the absence of moisture is nothing but a classification of this dry corrosion. Then another type is corrosion due to other gases like a chlorine, like a CO2, SO2, H2S, F2. So all these gases, due to the presence of all these gases into the in the atmosphere, that type of corrosion is called as corrosion due to other gases. There may be some other mechanism. Okay, here direct oxidation is taking place due to oxygen. So extent of corrosion will vary depending on what type of gas which is present, what type of environment that particular atmosphere is offering to the metal. Then the next third type of dry corrosion is the liquid metal corrosion. So whenever some liquid metal is just flowing on some solid metal, then what happens? This liquid metal is responsible to corrode that solid material, which is just beneath that liquid metal. So for example, in the nuclear reactor, okay, we have seen in this first unit, nuclear reactor. So in that one sodium metal, we have used as a coolant. Okay, that coolant, when we are flowing on the cadmium reactor, what happens if the sodium metal is flowing as a coolant inside that reactor, it will corrode that cadmium. So that's the best example for this liquid metal corrosion. So this is the description for three types of corrosion. So one is the oxidation corrosion. So how this occurs? Oxidation corrosion. Oxidation corrosion, we know this is due to direct action of the oxygen on the metal surface. So this will directly attacking on the metal surface, and this oxygen is responsible to just corrode the metal. And as soon as this will be corroded, base depending on that what type of film it form, depending on that one. So that film is whether it is stable, unstable, or volatile, or some porous, like this. Depending on that one, the extent of corrosion will be dependent. So metal initially, see, the metal will be there at low temperature, and if we kept that metal at high temperature, the metal will be very fast
Excuse me,
corroding.
sir. Are you
Yes,
screen
yes,
sharing, sir?
yes, yes.
We are not able to see, sir.
From starting onwards, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, yeah, forget, I think. Mhm. Okay, thank you, Ananya. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. So this is types of dry corrosion. In this type, the first one is oxidation corrosion, which is due to direct attack of oxygen, which is present in the atmosphere. So in the absence of moisture is the classification for that dry corrosion. Then due to other gases, apart from oxygen, due to other gases like CO2, Cl2, SO2, H2S, all these gases will corrode, will also corrode the metal. Okay, this is classified as another classification due to other gases. Then another popular corrosion is this liquid metal corrosion. This is also one type of dry corrosion in which the liquid metal will be flowing beneath, flowing on the solid metal. When that liquid metal is flowing on the solid metal, what happens? The below the solid material, whatever is there, it will be corroded. So accidentally, when it is corroded, it will fail. It will weaken that particular solid system, solid carrier. So that type of corrosion is called as a liquid metal corrosion. So this is first type of dry corrosion, which is oxidation corrosion. So oxidation corrosion, as you know, this is due to a direct attack of oxygen or a direct action of oxygen on the metal surface, or due to the absence of any moisture content. So oxygen is directly coming from the atmosphere. So in the ordinary temperatures, this oxidation corrosion is somewhat less when compared to the high temperatures. When the metal is at high temperatures, the oxide formation or a corrosion product formation will be very, very high, as you can see in this example. So during the examination, you can draw this figure. Then the mechanism. What is the mechanism which is going to happen, which corrodes this particular metal? So I will show you this one. So there are three types of corrosion. You are aware that one. So types of dry corrosion. So what is this mechanism? We have to see. One is oxidation corrosion. Second one is corrosion due to other gases like CO2, Cl, H2S, like this one. This is due to direct attack of oxygen. This is due to SO2, H2S, Cl2, etc. Then another is this one, liquid metal corrosion. So this liquid metal corrosion is due to flow of this liquid on the solid surface, or we can say if there is a pipeline or if there is some reactor. Okay, some reactor is there like that. Popular example if this is a nuclear reactor. Okay, this high energy will be produced inside the nuclear reactor, and large excess of amount of heat is liberated. In order to lower that excess amount of heat, we will supply a coolant. So which is in the nuclear reactor case, sodium metal. Okay, it is in metal form. It will be flowing around this jacketed reactor. When it is flowing, what happens if this is a cadmium reactor? Okay, its construction material is cadmium. It will corrode. Okay, it will corrode this cadmium and it will weaken this cadmium reactor. So this is the popular example for liquid metal. So what is the mechanism that is going to happen in the first type of corrosion, first type of dry corrosion, which is oxidation corrosion? Okay, oxidation. So what is going to happen? For example, if metal is there, which is in solid form, then this metal will just lose the electrons. Okay, its electrons will be loosed. So n plus electrons or some plus n electrons will be loosed by this metal. So first reaction will be happening on the metal. Directly oxygen, whatever the loss of electrons are there, that will be consumed by this oxygen, like half O2, which is in gas phase. Then this electrons, whatever the electrons are there, if there is a two electrons, in order to balance the reaction, so two electrons will be combined and it will be forming oxygen ions. So this is metal ions and this is oxygen ion. So inside the atmosphere, this type of these reactions are happening. If you see both in a combined form, two metal will be just mixing with each other in a solid form, and oxygen will be present in the atmosphere in a gaseous form, and it will be attacking on the particular metal and giving this metal ions. 2 is there, to n plus. So this is n plus n times this oxygen ions will be forming. So in terms, this will form a metal oxide like M2 O n times this O n times. So this is metal oxide. Okay, this reaction is taking place. And when you see individually on the metal side, this metal will lose the electron, and this electron loss will be gained by this oxygen which is present in the atmosphere, and it will produce metal ions. So this will combine form. When you see metal will be combined with oxygen, so this is the oxidation process. Due to this oxidation process, this metal will be break down into metal ions, and this oxygen will be break down into oxygen ions, and together with this will form a metal oxide. So this metal oxide is nothing but a corrosion product. This is a corrosion product. So now corrosion product already happened, already due to this reaction, already corrosion is forming on the metal. Okay, for example, if you consider this as a metal, so corrosion product, this whatever these lines are there, if you consider this as a metal oxide or corrosion product. Okay, depending on this type of what type of this layer is, depending on that one, the extent of corrosion will be dependent. So how it will be dependent? How many types of these films or how many types of this corrosion products will be there? If whatever the this film formed is, there are four types of corrosion products. One is if the formed film is stable. Okay, it can be stable. What happens if it is stable film? So this is when oxide, okay, when oxide film, this is metal oxide film. When oxide film is stable, or it will tightly adhere. Stable is nothing but it will tightly adhere to this metal, and this will tightly adhere to the metal surface. Okay, after forming that metal oxide will be tightly adhering to the metal surface, and it will act as a protective film. Okay, protective film, and it will stop corrosion to takes place further. Why? It will stop the further oxidation, because it is stable. This film is stable and it is just adhering tightly to this metal surface. So the oxygen to go inside, O2 to go inside, will be limited by this formed stable layer. Because of this, this oxygen molecules or oxygen ions, they don't have a direct access to the metal which is beneath this, inside this metal oxide. So because of this, when the film is stable, so that film will be adhering to the metal surface very tightly, and it will lower the chances of oxygen directly contacting to the metal which is underneath, or underneath this metal oxide. So because of this, stable films are the corrosion will be stopped at that rate, whatever the rate it is. Then another type of film will be we'll say this unstable film. Okay, for example, what type of metal will form this stable film? Like aluminium. Aluminium will be forming a stable film. Then next is lead will be forming a stable film, and copper will also be forming a stable film. Then another metal like tin can also be forming a stable film. And this will be the popular examples to the metals which forms a stable film. So the corrosion of this metal will be occurring at a very lower rates, because these metals have a tendency to form a stable film on the surfaces that will that will limit the action of oxygen directly to the metal surface which is beneath that oxide film. Then unstable film. So what happens with the unstable film? If the oxide film, so whatever the film form or oxide layer is unstable, so then what happens? Then it will have tendency. It will have tendency to go back to metal. Okay, it will form if the formed film is unstable. This whatever the film form is unstable, what happens? For example, this is a metal. Okay, this metal will be going like this when oxygen is attacked to this one. O2 is attacking, so this will deteriorate the metal, this metal, and the top layer will be this oxide film. If this oxide film is unstable, then what happens? Once again, that oxide will be just converting into the metal. So metal is going further into the metal. So ultimately, if it is corroding, then it will be coming back to the metal once again. So this is unstable film. So example of this type of unstable film forming metals are nothing but silver. Okay, silver can be this example. Then gold. Okay, gold can be this example. We can take once they are corroded, they will once again come back to the normal state, come back to the their metal state, like a platinum. Okay, pt platinum can also be this type of oxide film forming, unstable film forming compound. Then another example of this film, okay, another type of film can be this volatile film. Okay, when this volatile film forms on this surface, okay, for example, this is metal. Okay, this is oxide layer. What happens then? This whatever the oxide layer form will be, first oxygen will be attacking like this and metal oxide will be formed, and as soon as this metal oxide will be formed, it will be volatile in nature. Okay, it will be just dropping down or something, it will be evaporating like this thing. After going this, the metal volume or metal circumference will be just decreased, or volume will be decreased, and the metal will be lost. So volatile films are not at all desirable. So they will occur at faster rates compared to the other oxide films. Why? Because this metal is dropping down, this metal oxide is dropping down, and therefore in the next stage the oxygen will have a direct contact with the metal. So this is one type of film, possibility of forming one type of film in the this metal oxide. So volatile films, what is the example for this volatile films? Like molybdenum, MO. So okay, this type of metals will form a volatile film. So therefore they will easily corrode. They will easily get corroded when they are exposed to the corroding atmospheres, corroding environments. Then the fourth one is this one, stable, unstable, volatile, then porous. Yes, yeah, porous films. Okay, if the oxide, whatever the metal is there, if this metal is getting contact with oxygen, this metal will be forming as a oxide layer. So this oxide layer, if this oxide layer is porous, what is the meaning of porous? A small pits like this things. Okay, small pores will be there. Through these pores, okay, oxygen will directly access the metal which is present underneath this metal oxide. So due to this one, the porous films will also corrode the material at very high rates compared to the other films. Okay, the porosity is nothing but the opening inside this metal surface. Okay, these pores will give access to the oxygen to go directly to touch directly to the metal surface. So because of this, oxidation will be just occurring at a high rates compared to the other film oxide. So what type of metals will form this porous film? Like for example, alkali metals. Okay. Okay, this alkali metals. Okay, alkali metals. What are the alkali metals? Like lithium will be forming a porous structure or a porous film structure on the metal surface. Like a sodium can also be forming as a porous structure. And other alkali metals like a potassium is one alkali metal. Like next one is rubidium. Rubidium is also one type of porous metal. Then cesium, yes, I think cesium. Cesium, CaECSium. Yeah, cesium can be this one type of alkali metal. Then francium can also be one type of alkali metal. This type of alkali metals will have a tendency to form porous film on the surface. So if they are forming a porous film, they can give directly access to that metal underneath that metal oxide. Then another type is alkaline earth metals. Okay, alkaline earth metals are also having a tendency to just form this porous type of film. So what are the alkaline earth metals? Like magnesium. Magnesium is one type of one type of alkaline earth metal. Then strontium, we can say. Strontium, SR, I think, yes. Strontium, yes. Okay, magnesium is one type of alkaline earth metal that can be forming a porous film. Then strontium, SR can be this porous metal. Then beryllium, this one type of alkaline earth metal. So these are the popular examples which can form the porous film on the structure. When they are forming the porous film, that film will give direct access to the oxygen to enter beneath the surface of this metal. So it will be corroding to large extent. Below the metal, below this metal oxide, whatever the metal is there, that will also be corroded. If depending on the type of film which is formed inside that particular metal. So this is the mechanism which is going to happen. Whatever the mechanism is there, whatever the metal is there, the mechanism is metal ions will be losing the electrons and forming the metal ion. Metals will be losing the electrons and forming the metal ions, and that electrons will be gained by the oxygen present in the atmospheres and forming as the oxygen ions, and both combined will be forming a metal oxide. So this product, this is called as a metal oxide, is nothing but a corrosion product, which is more stable. Okay, more stable form of a metal. So because of this tendency to go to the more stable form, the corrosion will happen. So this is the mechanism. I hope it is okay. Oxidation mechanism and various. Yeah, okay, this is oxidation mechanism. I have clearly given the steps here, what is going on. You can just go through this one. Okay, these are these types of layers, stable, unstable layers. Okay, whatever the examples I have given for the alkali metals, you can see the video. Okay, you can search over the web also, alkaline earth metals or something. Then nature of film. Okay, this nature of film, if that film is a stable film, so it will be tightly adhering and it will be protecting against the corrosion. So that is prevention also happening there. If it is unstable, what happens? If it will once again, sorry, if this is unstable, what happens? Once again it will be going into the metal form. Okay, then if it is volatile, so this volatile film will be just dropping down, and further metal will directly further oxygen will have direct access to the metal. So this is pictorial form. And then if it's porous, that through that pores oxygen can access the metal which is present underneath this porous metal oxide film. So further the material will be just collapsed continuously. The if the film is porous, it will be just corroding continuously, and metal will not will be maximum present in the atmosphere because it is corroding. So then corrosion by other gases. Okay, the next one is corrosion by other gases. So what are the types of gases? Like Cl2, like H2S. Okay, I need not to write, I think. Yeah. Okay, then corrosion by other gases. So this one, Silver is just corroding due to the presence of chlorine in the atmosphere. Then ferrous is corroding due to the presence of H2S, hydrogen sulfide, in the atmosphere. Like this tin will be corroding due to the presence of chloride in the atmosphere into the tin chloride, which is a volatile layer. Then this ferrous sulfide is a volatile, this porous layer. Then AgCl2 or a silver chloride is nothing but this non-porous layer. So these are, if this is non-porous layer, there are no pores. If there is no pores, there is no access of oxygen directly to the metal. So it will be stopping there. This is one type of stable film only. So the next one is a liquid metal corrosion. So when there is a liquid metal which is flowing on some solid metal, so below this liquid metal, solid metal is there, that solid metal will be weakened down due to the corrosion happening due to this liquid metal. So that will be weakened down. So a popular example for this one is nuclear reactor, in which sodium metal will be acting as a coolant. And due to this sodium metal, the cadmium, whatever the construction material of the reactor is there, it will be just corroding. And at some point in time, it will be failing. That material will be failing. So that type of corrosion is called as a liquid metal corrosion. Okay, until here, is it okay? This dry corrosion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then next one is a wet corrosion. So what is this wet corrosion? So wet corrosion is also known as a electrochemical corrosion. Okay, this type of corrosion to occur. Okay, there are four types of four steps which we need to discuss here to occur this type of wet corrosion. That four steps I will describe. So first one is, it will occur when the metal is in contact with moist air or any liquid medium. Okay, unlike that dry corrosion is the absence of moisture, but this wet corrosion is a presence of moisture in air or any liquid medium. Then when two different metals are partially immersed in a solution, like electrolysis. In electrolysis, what happened? Cathode and anode will be there. So what happens when cathode and anode is there with some, along with some conducting medium? Okay, electrons will be generated inside this cathode and anode. That electrons needs to be transported with from one location to another location. Okay, how it will be transported? If there is some conducting medium like electrolyte is there in between them, so then only this type of wet corrosion will occur. And chemically non-uniform surfaces of metals behave like electrochemical cells in the presence of water containing dissolved O2 and CO2. If oxygen and CO2 is also there in the this electrolyte, then that will be acting as a medium for the corrosion. So it is always occurs at the anodic areas. Why it will occurs at the anodic areas? Because at anodic areas, it will be losing electrons. Anode will be losing electrons. When these are losing electrons, some acceptor for this, whatever the anode is losing the electrons, that electrons will be have to be accepted by some cathode. Okay, if the cathode is accepting this electrons, whatever lost by the anode, then only this type of wet corrosion will be takes place. So what is anode and what is cathode? For example, if there is a galvanic series, okay, galvanic series is nothing but listing of metal based on their electrochemical series, okay, based on their corroding properties. Okay, if the metal is there higher in the galvanic series, that metal will be called as a anodic metal. So okay, that metals will be called as a anodic metal. Therefore, they are very much corroding metals. If they are very much low in the electrochemical series or galvanic series, then that type of metals will be called as a cathodes or a more noble metals. So tendency of corroding will be very less for this type of cathodic materials. So in order to occur this wet corrosion, there should be two dissimilar metal surface or a different metal surfaces. One must be act as a cathode and another must be acts as a anode. Okay, corrosion can only occurs at the anodic area because due to the loss of electrons from anode. Whatever the loss of electrons takes place, that loss of electrons should be gained by this cathode. Then only this wet corrosion will be taking place. So this is about this wet corrosion. What is its mechanism? If you see this mechanism, the overall mechanism will be oxidation reduction only. Okay, oxidation, where the oxidation will happen, nothing but a loss of electron. So anode will be losing the electron and simultaneously the cathode will be gaining the electron in the reduction process. So overall, the mechanism involved in the wet corrosion is the oxidation reduction process. So in order to occur this wet corrosion process, there are four steps which is required. So the first one is formation of anodic and cathodic areas in contact with each other. So okay, the metal which is higher in the electrochemical series or a galvanic series will be called as an anode. So the metal which is lower in the galvanic series will be called as a cathode. Okay, if they are not similar in the electrochemical series, when there are two dissimilar metals are there, then what happens automatically? Some metal will be acting as a cathode and some metal will be acting as an anode. So to occur this one, first requirement is there should be two sources. One is anode and second one is a cathodic area source. Then the presence of conducting medium. In order to transport that electrons from one region to another region, what happens? There should be some conducting medium like electrolyte needs to be there. Then corrosion of anodic area only. So corrosion only occurs at the anodic area because anode will lose the electron. Whatever the anode losing the electron, that has to be gained by the cathode. So when that is gaining, the corrosion product will be somewhere will be forming somewhere in between this anode and cathode, not completely on the anode, not completely on the cathode. The corrosion product like oxide or something will be forming on some in between this anode and cathodic area. So these are the four steps to occur wet corrosion. Okay, depending on the nature of the corroding environment, what happens? This wet corrosion will takes place due to the evolution of H2 or a hydrogen. Okay, evolution is nothing but release of hydrogen or absorption of oxygen. Okay, there are two mechanisms are there to occur this wet corrosion depending on the corroding environment. If that corroding environment is producing a mechanism in such a way that it is evaluation of oxygen or absorption of oxygen, depending on that one, how this oxygen is going to react with the how the electrons are going to react with at the cathodic area, depending on that only this there are two mechanisms for this one. One is a evaluation or release of hydrogen, next one is absorption of oxygen. So how, what is this mechanism, how this mechanism will occur? So okay, we'll see this one. So okay, wet corrosion is nothing but in presence of some wetting medium or in presence of some electrolytic medium. The requirement is to form a anode and cathode will be forming and some conducting medium like electrolyte will be there, and some only the corrosion will occur at the anodic state because it is losing the electrons. So how this will happen? Depending on how the electrons are taking by the cathodic area, there are two types of wet corrosion types. One is evolution of hydrogen, or we can say evolution or nothing but release of hydrogen. Then next one is absorption of oxygen. So what is this evaluation of hydrogen? Okay, to occur this wet corrosion, what we want first, anode and cathodic areas needs to be formed. What is the reaction which is taking place at the anode first? So if you see the individual reactions which is taking place at the anodic area is, for example, if metal is there which is solid form and this metal will be just losing the electron. So how it will be losing the electron? Due to the oxidation process. So for example, if it is moving losing the two electrons, then two electrons it will be losing. Why? Because it is due to oxidation process. Then the wet corrosion will occurs due to the mechanism or overall mechanism which is oxidation and reduction. So now at the anode, oxidation is taking place due to the loss of electrons. But what happens? The reduction process has to be takes place at the cathodic area. How this reduction process will takes place? Okay, this electron, whatever the electrons are formed here in the oxidation process, that has to be gained in the reduction process. Okay, if in the atmosphere there are hydrogen ions are there, what happens? This electrons, whatever the electrons are there, which will be just reacting with this hydrogen ions, and it will be giving, evolving or releasing the hydrogen gas. So this is called as reduction reaction. So now the mechanism of this wet corrosion is satisfied. So oxidation is taking place and reduction is taking place. Oxidation is taking place and reduction is taking place. Then what happens if you see the overall reaction? If you see the overall reaction, what happens? Metal in a solid form will be reacting with hydrogen ions, and these hydrogen ions will be giving a metal ions together with the evolution of hydrogen. So this is going to happen if the mechanism is through evolution of hydrogen. Yes, anybody is having any doubts? Roll number 28. Yeah, if this is the mechanism, if the wet corrosion is occurring due to the evolution or release of hydrogen, then the next one is next mechanism is this absorption of oxygen. How this absorption of oxygen will occur? For example, the same similar case, the anodic area, the reaction which occurs at the anodic area is metal is there in the solid form and it has to lose the electrons due to oxidation process. So Mn plus or something 2 plus or Mn plus Mn we can take like this. So N electrons will be losing. Why? Because it is undergoing oxidation process. Then the next process is reduction has to occur in order to satisfy the condition for this wet corrosion. So cathodic area. In the cathodic area, what happens? According to this definition, absorption of oxygen. So whatever the electrons are there, they have to absorb the oxygen. So this electrons, whatever if 4 we can consider. So O2 is there. So 4 electrons will be mingling with oxygen together. The necessary condition for this wet corrosion is some water source, some wet source needs to be there. So this will be combining and forming O2, 4, 2, H2. Okay, I think 4. Oh, yeah. Hydroxyl ions it will be forming. So this will, the formation of hydroxyl ions is nothing but this reduction process. So oxidation is occurring in the first step at the anode and reduction is occurring in the next step at the cathode. If you see the overall reaction, if you see this overall reaction, what happens if you consider there are 4 metals or 4 molecules of a metal, then it will be combined with some something, yeah, 2n hydrogens. It will this moisture or this water content it will be combining and it will result in 4 molecules of metal oxide or metal ions n plus this 2 and 2 this 4 hydroxide ions. So this is overall reaction which is going to happen. So this overall reaction is nothing but oxidation reduction reaction. So individually, if you see on each anode or cathodic scale, okay, in the conducting medium, the anodic reaction will be oxidation reaction in which the metal will be losing an electron and these electrons will be gained by at the cathode by the oxygen present in the atmosphere together with the moisture which is present in the conducting medium. Then it will be forming a hydroxyl ions by the reduction reaction. Then if you see the overall reaction, the metal will be combining with the water content which is present and together the whatever the electrons lose at the cathodic area, anodic area will be gained by at the cathode and it will be forming the metal ions plus hydroxyl ions. This is called oxidation reduction reaction. Okay, the mechanism, is it okay now? Wet corrosion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, if you understand this mechanism, what is going to happen in the anode, what is going to happen in the cathode, and what is the overall reaction, then it is easy to describe n number of corrosion types. There are many types of corrosion, like a concentration cell corrosion, galvanic cell corrosion, then pitting corrosion, crevasse corrosion. There are many types of corrosions are there. All this corrosion, the commonly what is happening, cathodic and anodic reaction will be happening. If you can identify what is cathode and what is anode, where the particular corrosion is happening, then it is very easy to just explain about what is the type of corrosion. If somebody is asking you what is the concentration cell corrosion, okay, what is the galvanic cell corrosion, if somebody is asking you, if you know this one, cathode and anode, what is the reaction going on at the cathode, what is the reaction going on at the cathode anode, then it is very easy to just explain about the type of this corrosions. Okay, there are many types of corrosion. You cannot by heart all of them. Only just simply by understanding the mechanism of this cathode and anode, you can explain whatever the mechanism, whatever the types of corrosion which is going to takes place. So this is the overall mechanism. So one is for the wet corrosion, which is H2 evaluation. So how it is evolving, or at anode, what is going on? This reaction at cathode, what is going on? Then yeah, this is overall reaction. What is going on? If you know the difference between these two, how it is happening, this mechanism, it is very easy to explain the types of various types of corrosion mechanisms. So this is by oxygen absorption. So how the oxygen is getting absorbed, how the metal is loading the electrons at the anodic area, how the oxidation reduction is taking place. Just simply, I request you to understand this concept first, then only you can understand how many types of corrosion: galvanic, concentration cell, passivity, waterline corrosion, pitting corrosion, crevice corrosion, stress corrosion, intragranular corrosion. So all this corrosion, to explain about all these corrosions, you need to understand the mechanism first. If you understand the mechanism, it is very easy to identify what is cathode, what is anode, and you can simply say this is the mechanism which is going to happen. This is the process which is going to happen, whatever the corrosion has been asked. So what is the difference between these two, dry corrosion and wet corrosion? So dry corrosion, as we know, it occurs due to the absence of moisture content. Then wet corrosion is, it occurs due to the presence of moisture content, or in the presence of in some conducting medium, in order to transport the electron currents in between this anode and cathode. So that is wet corrosion. Then corrosion, dry corrosion, involves direct attack of chemicals on the metal surface. Okay, oxygen is directly attacking on the metal surface which has to be corroded. But here, if you see in the wet corrosion, it has to form some electrochemical cell. Okay, how that cell will be formed? One metal has to be formed as a cathode. One metal is other metal has to be formed as a anode. Okay, after forming a anode, there should be some conducting, then some connection medium in between them. That conducting medium will be responsible to transfer electrons from the anode to the cathode. Then anode will gaining, cathode will be gaining that electrons, and it will be just by evolving the hydrogen, or by absorbing the oxygen, it has to corrode that particular anodic material, and corrosion product will be forming in between the cathode and anodic surfaces, cathodic and anodic areas. Then usually the dry corrosion is a slow corrosion, as we described previously, and wet corrosion is a rapid corrosion. Okay, then corrosion products are produced at the site of corrosion, means on the metal top itself the corrosion product is forming, metal oxide is forming. But whereas in the corrosion, in the wet corrosion, what happens? Anode is a corrodic material, but the product or a rust will be formed at the cathode or in between this anode and cathode, but not on the anode. Whereas the metal which is corroding is anodic material only corroding, but the product is not at all forming on that anode. That is forming near to the cathode or in between the cathode and anode. So that's the difference between the two. Then process of corrosion is uniform. Usually the dry corrosion is considered as a uniform corrosion. That metal surface will be uniform, is nothing but metal surface will be, if 1 centimeter is corroding, the next if that volatile layer is just removing, the next 1 centimeter like this it will be consuming. Okay, then the wet corrosion is not at all an uniform corrosion, it is non-uniform corrosion. Okay, largely dependent on how the size of anodic part is there. If there is a large anodic part, so the corrosion will be somewhat lower rate. It will be observed at a lower rate. If a very small anodic part is there, much very large cathodic part is there, the whatever the electrons which are losing by the anode will be immediately gained by this cathodic area. If that is gaining, the corrosion product to occur is will be very high rate. So that's the difference between dry and wet corrosion. Okay, hope you understood that's one. Dry and wet corrosion, the difference between these two. The next one is galvanic corrosion. So what is this galvanic corrosion? So galvanic corrosion, is also called as a bimetallic corrosion. Why it will occur? When there are two dissimilar metals are there. Okay, two dissimilar metal surfaces are there. So out of which one will be acting as a anode and another one will be acting as a cathode. So who will be acting as a anode? Who will be acting as a cathode? Depending on the galvanic series or a electrochemical series. If the metal which are two dissimilar metals, the metal which is having which is placed in the higher galvanic series or a top of this galvanic series, that will be acting as a anode or active metal, which is then the metal which is lower in the electrochemical series or a galvanic series will be called as a anode. Depending on that what type of metal is there in this particular type of corrosion, depending on that one, who is going to act as a cathode, who is going to act as a anode, depending on that one the particular corrosion will be happening. If you see, this one is a galvanic series. Okay, galvanic series, magnesium, zinc, aluminum, cadmium, all these are there. So all this from top to bottom, okay, its noble characteristic will be increased. From bottom to top, its noble characteristic will be decreased. So there is a chance of corroding the metal will be very high when they are lying in the region of this anodic area, or the higher, they are placed in the higher galvanic series. Okay, that's what only here that is written clearly. Zinc, for example, if you consider zinc and copper, okay, out of this zinc and copper, so zinc is higher in the electrochemical series. If you see here in the electrochemical series, zinc is placed as a third number, whereas copper, okay, copper somewhere is 18th number, so it is lower in the galvanic series, but this zinc is higher in the galvanic series. So zinc will be forming as a anode and this copper will be forming as a cathode. Okay, they are satisfying in order to corrode themselves by the wet corrosion mechanism. So this is the example, and another example is a this iron and copper. Okay, if iron and copper is there, where they are located in the electrochemical series, we can identify. Okay, this iron metal, Fe alloy or Fe metals, okay, iron metal will be here only, steel and cast iron, all these irons will be among this only. Then the copper will be here, 18th metal. 18th metal is a copper. So this is lower in the electrochemical series, but the iron will be higher in the electrochemical series. Therefore this will be ferrous will be acting as a cathode anodic area, and copper will be acting as a cathodic area. So therefore it will satisfy the first step, or a first step in this electrochemical series. Due to this one, there is a probability, there is a chance that they will be acting as they will be undergoing this wet corrosion. So example, the popular example for this one is steel screw in a brass marine hardware. Okay, when some brass marine, some tube is there, inside this tube when some screw is there which is made up of steel. So in that one what happens, the steel is there already, brass is there, they will be two different metals. So brass will be higher in the electrochemical series, it will be acting as a anode, and the steel will be acting as a cathode. Like this it will be going on. Then lead and antimony solder around copper wire. So this lead and antimony will be acting as this anodic area, and copper will be a cathodic area. This one, this example as shown in the arrow, red arrow. So soldering of this copper wire or a copper metal using some lead and antimony. Then a steel propeller shaft in bronze bearing. In bronze bearing, a steel this propeller is there. Whatever the propeller shaft is there, that shaft will be made of steel. So there is a two dissimilar metals are also there in this one. So bimetallic corrosion, there is a chance of happening this bimetallic corrosion. Then steel pipe connected to copper plumbing. Usually the steel pipes will be connected in our households also. Then there is a probability to form this galvanic corrosion or bimetallic corrosion at this region. Okay, this is the galvanic series table in which the top metals are nothing but active metals, or the higher placed metals are nothing but anodic metals. Okay, then the below metals or the lower metals in the galvanic series or the electrochemical series is called as a noble metals or a cathodic metals. They will be act as a cathode when there are bimetallic corrosion. Okay, hope this is also okay.
Okay,
Is that
sir.
okay? Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then next one is a passivity. So what is this passivity? Okay, passivity is nothing but formation of some thin film or an oxide layer on the metal surface. If that on the metal surface, if some thin film is forming, if that metal is just dropping into some conducting medium or some corroding atmosphere also, that will resist. That is thin film of this metal oxide will be resisting the corrosion. How it is resisting? So because of this some metals will have this passivity characteristics. The metal which have this passivity characteristics are nothing but this titanium, aluminum, chromium, stainless steel alloys, and other which are composed of chromium as one type of alloy. In chromium is employed in manufacturing stainless steel. Why? Because it will have some noble characteristics inside that one. So passivity is nothing but if that film, if that particular metal is forming some metal oxide, a thin film metal oxide on the surface of that metal, that film will be resisting the corrosion further. Why it will be resisting? Due to its self-healing nature. Due to its self-healing nature, that particular film, whatever the film is forming, if that is very thin film or invisible film, so it will be called as a monolayer. If that is a very thick film, that will be called as a multi-layer film. So usually this layer will be formed due to oxygen, metal, and hydrogen. These compounds are responsible in order to stop the corrosion further. So this is called as a self-healing materials. If that particular film is broken down due to some rupture or something, that will have a characteristics of self-healing itself on its own. It will be self-heal. So that is called as a passive characteristics or passivation we can call. So passivity or passivation is the phenomena in which a metal or an alloy exhibits a much higher corrosion resistance than expected from its position in electrochemical series. Okay, if that metal is also having higher place in the electrochemical series also, due to its protective film characteristics, it will be acting as a corrosion resisting material. So passivity is a result of formation of highly protective but thin and invisible film on the surface of a metal or an alloy, which makes it more noble or cathodic. So this film is insoluble, non-porous, and such self-healing nature that when broken, it will be repair itself on re-exposure to the oxiding conditions. So that is the necessary condition in order to have a passive metal or a passive material we have. If that passive material is forming a thin film or a thin layer or invisible layer, that is called as a monolayer. If that is forming as a thick layer somewhat, so that will be due to the formation of multi-layer phenomena. So these layers are formed due to this three compositions, oxygen, metal, or in between some hydrogen atoms will be there inside this one. So this is about the passivity. Okay, I hope you understood this one also, passivity.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. That's all for today. I will stop here. This one. Yeah. Okay. I request if you have any doubt, just stop me anywhere and just ask me. So if you understand this part, the mechanism, this is very, very, very easy. Everything like a galvanic, this bimetallic. Okay. Bimetallic is nothing but which is placed in electrochemical series high, whether it is placed in higher electrochemical series, whether it is placed in the lower electrochemical series. Okay, if it is placed in higher on the electrochemical series, that is acting as a anode, and if it's placed in the lower electrochemical series, that is acting as a cathode. If you can identify that one, so what type of corrosion it is forming, it will be very easy for that one. You can explain on your own this terminology, whatever. If they ask about what is galvanic or corrosion or a bimetallic corrosion, if you can just remember this galvanic series, you can directly identify and you can directly suggest one example. Zinc is placed in higher on the electrochemical series. Because of this, it will be acting as a anode, and copper is placed in the lower in the electrochemical series. It will be acting as a cathode. Like this, you can explain. And passivity is separate, and concentration cell corrosion. Here also the major part is you have to identify what is anode and what is cathode, how the attack is happening. If you know that mechanism, it is very easy. Every mechanism is same. If you see in this figure, formation of hydroxyl ion or lose of electron, same one. Okay, this is oxidation, this is reduction reaction. Same is going to happen everywhere. Here also oxidation, and here also reduction reaction is going to happen. Waterline corrosion. Okay, this okay, if you know that mechanism, and by just seeing this tagline or waterline or this bimetallic, you can simply explain what is the process which is going on there. And pitting corrosion also similarly, Same oxidation reduction. Crevice corrosion also due to oxidation reduction. How it will occur depends on the situation of that location of that particular metal. Stress corrosion also due to that only. Intragranular corrosion. Okay, everywhere oxidation reduction is a common. If you understand that mechanism, it is very easy to understand. So far this has been covered. So tomorrow, the next class, I will cover this concentration cell corrosion, differential cell corrosion, this waterline corrosion, pitting corrosion, crevice corrosion, stress corrosion, intragranular corrosion. So this type of corrosions are there for your syllabus. Then next one will be factors affecting the corrosion. So nature of metal or nature of the environment. Then how to control this corrosion. Okay, how to prevent from corroding the metal. So there are many prevention techniques are there. We'll discuss the next 2-3 classes. We will complete this one. Okay, I suggest you to read this one thoroughly. If you go through PPT also, you can understand whatever the going on process.